Hi, it's Rebecca with Empathic Crow. Please excuse the boxes, my gloves. I'm preparing for an event this weekend, Roll Fest. If you're anywhere near Roll Hall, North Carolina, you can come out and see me. I'll have, excuse me, I'm having a flare-up of several conditions today, so I'm not trying to gather attention or sympathy or anything like that. I just can't hide it. But when spirit comes through, and I'd wanted to record messages, I just wasn't sure that I had the energy. I try to honor that. And this one's going to be a hard one. I don't know if I even need to put a trigger warning on it or not. Because I sat down, I had already pulled cards out. And what I heard was the band Perry, If I Die Young. I'm not a huge country fan, no offense to country. I do have some favorite artists. I love Reba, I love Dolly, you know, different things. And I have seen the band Perry and Rascal Flatts in concert. But this song came through really strong. I can't remember the lyrics completely, but the part 111 on the clock that I heard the most was Lord, make me a rainbow, shine down on my mother. She'll know I'm safe with you as she stands under my colors. Oh, and life ain't always what you think it ought to be. No, ain't even gray, but she buries her baby. The sharp knife of a short life. And I'm gonna try not to cry because I already feel myself tearing up. But that is what's coming through. And I heard I love you, Mom. So I can't say yet who this is for. I haven't sat with the energy for a while like I usually would or have done in the past so that I can get all the information. As you can see, there's a lot that I'm trying to do. And I try to honor spirit as well. So let's see what comes through. And I don't necessarily need the cards, but today with my energy level, I'm definitely going to use the cards to help me move forward. Thank you, Spirit, for bringing the song through. There's a butterfly and a bird flying past my window. Pink. Not the singer, I love her, but the color pink is coming through. I'm seeing like a pink room. Like so, and I'm hearing like so much pink that you don't even want to walk into it. like somebody threw a pink on the room. That but everything's pink. The walls are pink, the curtains are pink. Even if there's other like patterns and colors, I'm just seeing a lot of pink. And heard the words girly girl. And it's funny, I'm wearing my pink, I've got black and pink, but my pink compression gloves today. So I'm talking about pink, but it wasn't 333 on the clock triggered by this because I didn't even think about that. So I know that's not a lot of information to go off on. I'll definitely throughout the message bring up anything else that comes through. But like I said, today's not my greatest day physically or even mentally. Brain fog is something that can come through. So let's see. But just know, if you book with me, you will always get the service 100% my energy. That's why I try to protect my energy, and I may not always be consistent with more than the crow messages because I'm protecting my energy for those sessions and making sure that I can bring through the information that's needed. And if for some reason I'm not able to, I will always let you know. All right. So I'm hearing to lay them flat. I don't usually put them face down, but I've been hearing to put them face down. I didn't say that. And pull from where? So we're going to the Intuitive Whispers deck, and we'll pull a couple of cards from there. This is not typically how I read, but this is how we're doing it right now. So you tell me how they go. Put that one in the middle. Okay. And then Moonology. Like I said, this is not usually how I read, but we're going with what is coming through. Okay. Okay, we're going to go forward, and there may be more that comes through, but we will see. All right, so we've got the Ace of Swords in reverse. I don't reverse my cards, but that is how it was facing, so we will go with that. And I feel like this is difficulty with having clear thoughts. And I'm hearing empty staircase. I remember, I wasn't looking, but there are 2 staircases on this card. There's the one behind her, and there's the one in her mind. And I often talk about that in order to climb the stairs to get to where you want to go, you've got to clear that up in your mind to create that path and that connection. But what she's saying is, Mom, turn on the light. She says, these stairs right here are dark because you're not connecting. Like she says, you're staying in the dark. Since she passed, you're staying in the dark. With these eyes closed, sometimes I describe this as kind of just getting zen and clearing your thoughts and connecting with whatever it is that is divine to you. But she's saying that's not what this face is representing for her mom. She's saying that for her mom, it's like your eyes are closed because you closed yourself off to everything else. 7:11 on the clock when I looked up. And so she's really worried. Not stressing worried, but she's like, I want her to feel at peace. Got the King of Wands upside down as well. Are they all upside down? That may just be the way I laid them. But she's saying that's the way it is. Okay. So the King of Wands upside down. Again, she's bringing me to the torch, and she says, the light's been lost. The confidence has been lost. It's still there. And then she's showing me the line and saying she feels like she doesn't have anything to protect or anything to give her a purpose. And so again, it's this shutting down. And she says, you still have a purpose. You still have a reason. It's just really hard for you right now. She's bringing me to this shirt, and I've never really looked too much at the shirt. Okay, that makes sense. So on the original King of Wands, there is a lizard on the side of the card. There's a lizard on his shirt, and there's also a rose. And the shirt is red, which can also be a color for the root chakra, which can be not only grounding, but also that sense of security, safety, a foundation. And she's showing me a foundation crumbling, that foundation was rocked. You felt like the rug was pulled out from underneath you, and that foundation's gone. And she said, but Mom, how do you have a staircase if there's not a foundation? So I don't know if your daughter kind of tried to like she was the one who would come up and try to joke, or just, I'm seeing her as this bright light. Like she'd come up and try to joke and get you to, she said, lighten up. So humor definitely is a way that she tries to lighten the situation. So the Queen of Swords came up in reverse as well. And that Queen of Swords, with it, I'm hearing, and I paused because I was listening, it's not just that your thoughts aren't clear. And often when I look at the Queen of Swords or even the King of Swords, and especially in this deck and how they're holding the sword, it's almost sometimes like they're not necessarily actively looking for something to protect against, but they're prepared if they need to be. But with, I have a spam call coming through, so please excuse me. I forgot to put it on Do Not Disturb. But with this, just like with the King of Wands, she's like, you feel like there's nothing to protect against, so you're not even, she said, aware of what's around you. Like, you're not even focused on anything to watch out for or be aware of, because it's like, she's showing me like a box or a room. It's dark, so it's hard to tell, but it's got the 4 walls, and like it's yours, you feel trapped inside that box. So you're not even looking out, because I heard, what's the point? And she's showing me the bird in the background here. And she's like, well, you got to look up at some point, because I'm there. I'm the bird. She says, I'm the bird. I'm the flower. I'm the grass. I'm the trees. I'm everywhere. And I'm looking at you. But because I'm not physically there with you, you're not seeing me. 8 of Cups. And in this cup there is, looks like a flame. There's a flame. And the person's walking away from that cup, and they're walking toward the sun. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. I've only got the main light on and things coming through. And there's like a little fish. It's like the phone just glitched. I don't know if that'll catch on camera. Maybe not. But there's like this little fish here. And this person is walking away. 12:12 on the clock. And she says, you can walk away, because I'm not that fish. Like I told you, I can be 12:22 on the clock, anywhere, anything. But if you're so focused on, she's bringing me back to the room. And it was 1, 2, 3, 4 on the clock when I said that, and or 12:34. And when I see that, I usually, not on camera, but I say, I love you, Mom. I don't know why 1, 2, 3, 4 makes me think of my mom, but if that means anything to anyone. But it's like she's saying, you're so focused on, maybe you may have her room exactly the way that it was, and she's like, you're so focused on where you think I am. She's showing me a gravesite now. She says, no, I'm always with you. I'm always there. You don't have 13:13 on the clock. You don't have to focus on anything specific. Just focus on me, but not my passing. Focus on the things that we enjoyed. I'm getting a huge headache right now. This is me. This is my body. But this headache, this is not me. And I'm feeling like it's that you're overthinking so much that you may even have constant headaches. I'm not giving medical advice or anything. That's not my role. But she's making me feel like it's stress. That you're having all these headaches, but it's this difficulty with clearing your mind. It's causing so much pressure that it's coming out in physical symptoms. All right, we'll move on to the Intuitive Whispers deck cards. So this card is full of pink. And there's a light right here. This person is looking completely free, and there's a light right here, and it's pink all around. And the card is 21, which can break down to a 3, and it says spacious mind and soul. And it just said before I picked this card up something about clearing your mind, like you're not clearing your mind. And so she's talking about that freedom, and I'm noticing this down here, this purple is like the starry sky, the universe. I heard through time and space, And that again, just reiterating that there's no one thing, one place, one object or anything like that where you can connect with her. No, it's not the same as when she was physically here. But one of the things that I often tell people, there's even a video from last year that I talk about. I think I had another one that I did, 2 of them last year, this year. It doesn't matter, but it was about, you don't have to be a medium or a psychic to connect with spirit. It's about paying attention to the signs and the symbols and trusting yourself and not telling yourself that it doesn't mean anything. And so, yeah, she says there's not just one thing. You can find that connection anywhere, because what I say is everything's energy. If energy can't be destroyed, then we just take a different form. And so some of it may be if a song comes on and you hear that song and it brings back body sensations or emotions, memories, things like that. That's a connection. It doesn't have to be, she's saying, remember, Mom, it doesn't have to be a specific way. So the next card is 40, split your focus. Notice that this person is so focused on looking down. I can't tell if they are, let's see. It's a camera. They're looking at everything through the camera. And then look, there's this planet behind them. The moon's behind them. In the kind of, the clouds are translucent. Like there's this forest. It's like they're caught. They're trapped in one place. They're trapped in a space where they aren't even seeing everything around them because they're so focused on whatever it is that they're trying to look at through the camera. So again, whoever this is for, your daughter, she's trying to say, you got to focus on other things. You can't just focus on the things that, she's telling me, hurt, on the things that make you feel sad. 17 on the clock. She wants you to feel happy. She wants you to, like, she keeps pointing me back to the planets and the stars and the universe. And she's like, there is so much mystery, so much to explore. She says, there's so much to explore. There's so much to see. And you're not seeing it. She's showing me like girls' trips, just going places and doing things and that being interesting. And she says, you're not doing that anymore. And this is like out in, like, I'm seeing like little antiquing shops or kind of, what's the word? Antiquing, vintage, thrifting, like thrift shops, but in different places. Like I'm seeing Roadtrips. Like you got your drinks, you got your snacks, you got the music. I'm even seeing the windows down. It feels like, did you hear that? Because I don't know what that was. It feels like scenes in Thelma and Louise. There's nothing, I know my room is a mess, but everything's secure. I don't know what that was. And that may have just been a hello or that, you know, I'm on point here. But I'm seeing like, I just heard ride or die. She may have been your daughter, but it was like she was your best friend too. She says it wasn't always that way. And she just said, don't let the pink fool you. Don't let the pink fool you. It wasn't always that way, she says. But just like whatever that was that made a noise, I don't even know. I have gemstones over there and that sounded metallic. So I have no idea what that was that made that noise. But that may be an example of how she tries to get your attention sometimes. If there's a noise or something you hear and you're explaining it away, she's saying that, pay attention. She's trying to get your attention, but sometimes when we're closed off, like I said, if we're not paying attention, And you'll know if a sign's not for you. If you see something like a cardinal or a butterfly and you feel no emotional attachment to it, then you saw a cardinal or a butterfly. If you feel an attachment to it, and maybe you created that attachment, it's still a connection. All right, let's move on to the next card. 32, which breaks down to a 5. 5, often in the tarot, is going to signify change. Fill up your cup. And so there's a pink cup, and it is full of all these little treasures. These crystals, some lavender, a purple rose. There's even a little bird on the edge of this cup. There's some butterflies. Yeah, purple butterflies back here. And all of this, the lavender, the crystals and everything, are giving me that sense of you finding peace and calm. And she was showing me like a bath with what are those things called? I guess bath salts, not as in, I worked in mental health for the longest time, 2111 on the clock. Not as in substances, but like actual, like not Epsom, maybe Epsom, but I'm seeing the lavender in it too. She's saying, take care of yourself. Whew. Let's see if there's anything else coming through. This is not her, this is me. And again, not any heart issues, just connective tissue. She's having me look at, okay, I see what she's getting me to see. It's actually in both of these cards. So in both of these cards, this quality, if you look at these mountains back here, and it may or may not show up very well on my camera, there's like a mist that you can see the mountains through, but it's not incredibly apparent at first. And then with these trees, there are those clouds, and it's kind of translucent, and you can see the trees through that, kind of like a mist. Like, now, thank you. She's laughing as I'm trying to like explain the thing, and then she finally says, beyond the veil. Mom, it's just a veil. It's just a veil. It's not a wall. You've put up walls. It's not a wall. It's a veil. Dark side of the moon mystery. There's a rainbow coming out of that moon. But again, I see her putting you in, like in my mind, into this little box. And with this desert, even though there's mysteries, like the pyramids are considered part of the 7 wonders of the world, right? It was 1123 when I looked up, and that feels important. But out in this desert, and again, this person is turned sideways. The rainbow is in front of them, but they're turned sideways. They're not even looking at the rainbow. And she's like, you're looking places expecting to see something, and I'm trying to show you that I'm here. I'm trying to send you the signs. A rainbow may even be one of them. But it's like you keep looking other places, but I feel like that's just also, it's a little bit literal, but also figurative, because she's like, sometimes, Mom, they're right in front of your face, but you're saying, oh, well, that's just me thinking that it's this. Moon rising, truth. So with this, we could see it as like camera stills that have been put together so that you see as if the moon was rising. You know, you see those moon phases when there's a full moon, people post like the position that it was in, but in one photo. But she's showing me this as like stages of acceptance, is what she says. Stages of acceptance. Because she feels like the part of the issue is you feel like you're just left out here in this dark space, because accepting the transition, the change, is so hard. And I'm feeling like that you feel like you don't know all the truth around her passing. She says it doesn't matter, but you got to let it go. She says that's part of where you're trapped and you're overthinking, is you're trying to, and this is common. This is something even with grief that we do, but I feel like you're trying to piece together, is there something either, I'm going to say either that could have prevented it, but she's making me feel like you're trying to find out more because you don't believe. She's showing me evidence files. You don't believe the evidence. I knew this was going to be, oh, my ears are ringing, an intense one. You don't believe the evidence. So she's taking me to the Haunted Echoes Oracle. What are you wanting for me to focus on from the Haunted Echoes Oracle? She said, advice from my mom. I understand that. Anything specific? She says no. All right, so advice for your mom. That's a lot of cards. That's a lot of cards. Let's try one or two. She's like, there's so many things. She says there's so many things. All right. What would you say is the most important? I think part of this with this deck are my gloves for, and like I said, this room is a mess right now because I have so much stuff. We'll go ahead and take the two that fell on the floor because she's saying that's important. I'm going to take my gloves off. They are a sensory issue for me, but they also help. There went one of my bracelets. The green aventurine, one of them. Green aventurine being a heart chakra stone, if that means anything. All right, so which one first? She says the one that's upside down to me. Web of fate. Even the smallest act can have far-reaching effects. Weave your destiny. And what she said to me as I was looking at the card is, you need to move. Not to me, but to you. She's showing me this crowd as like you going through the motions. Like you're still doing things because you have to, whether that's going to work. She said paying the bills, eating. And she says sometimes you're not even eating. But you're just going through the motions. And she says, Mom, you need to experience life. You're still living here. You need to experience life. Shattered dream. Gather the pieces of what was to build what will be. Courage to try again. And we had that King of Wands. And I had talked about, I think I talked about courage being one of the things. Maybe not, but that is part of the King of Wands. We've been on such a journey. It is 28 minutes. So I don't remember. I just keep staring at that light and hearing Leave a Light On. What is that song? Oh my God, I love that song. Oh, Jacoby from Papa Roach sings it. I think Carrie Underwood sings it with him too. So I don't know if that song's important to you, but I can't find the words right now, but the song's coming through. That's gonna drive me nuts because I keep hearing the melody. It's not like me to worry, But when I see you fading in the dark, oh no, she's gonna get me cry. I'll leave a light on for you. So whether you're leaving a light on for her, she says the light's still on from her end. And I see her like going like this, like she not punching, but she wants to just take you by the shoulders and shake you out of it. She says we can't change what happened. She's showing me someone lighting a candle. So whether you do that or maybe that's something that could help you with feeling connected, that is an image that she's giving me. I know it's May, but I keep hearing May, May, May. So May, I don't know the significance, but it sounds like that's important. She just said Mother's Day, which I had already talked about. So she's wishing you a happy Mother's Day. I just saw a bouquet, a hand with a bouquet coming through. She's showing me, pointing me in the direction of looking outside. When I took the dogs out over 30 minutes ago, it was bright and sunny. I haven't kept up with the weather, and right now it is getting dark and windy. I won't show you, I was going to, but it's getting dark and windy, and she says we can weather any storm. It's 31:55. I keep hearing Kaylee. The whole time that I've been doing this, I've heard Kaylee. 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 I don't know, but that's what I keep hearing is Kaylee. And I thought that was a bird, but there's a leaf because the wind is blowing so hard that just flew right up into the clouds. And she keeps having me look out at the storm. Well, it's not a storm yet, but that word keeps coming into my head. The storm. The storm. You can't control the storm. You can't change the past. So is there anything else? She just says, I love you. And take care of yourself. She's showing me someone in the bath again. Like, she's like, relax. She's showing me, like, shaking someone by the shoulders. She wants you to just relax, take care of yourself. And she says, live your life. It's okay. Live your life. I'm okay. I hope that helps. And thank you to Spirit for bringing through that message, and I hope that it gets to who it's intended for. Take care. So I don't remember which video I said that it was storming today and that there was probably going to be a rainbow and I needed to get outside. But I am going to go outside because I found the rainbow. Look, there's the rainbow.